the Sunder and the symmetry. The northern woods were not a place for the faint of heart. They were a kingdom of iron and frost, where the trees grew thick with thorns, and the wind carried the scent of wet pine and ancient stone. Willie stood upon the jagged precipice, his gaze fixed on the horizon. He was the product of this land, forged by the hunt and tempered by the cold, a sentinel for those who called the deep shadows home. To the south, the air changed, growing heavy with the scent of jasmine and damp earth. The southern glades were a sanctuary of dappled light and singing brooks, a tapestry of amber and emerald. Walter moved through the glades with a quiet gravity. He was the guardian of the quiet moments, his presence a tether that kept the delicate heartbeat of the woods in rhythm. The time of the Great Dividing arrived with the first frost. In the north, the pack gathered in a circle of ancient shadows to witness the rise of their protector. An elder wolf, bearing the scars of 100 winters, stepped forward. With a solemn growl, he placed a heavy collar of obsidian and cold-forged iron around Willie's neck, marking him as the king of the northern woods. Beneath the great willow in the south, the ceremony was a silent breath. As the sun reached its zenith, a great owl descended from the heights of the canopy, carrying a crown woven of living ivy and starlight. As the crown touched Walter's brow, the southern glades seemed to inhale. Walter was now the king of the southern glades, the vessel through which peace would flow. Leadership brought a heavy, restless burden. Willie spent his nights patrolling the frost line, his muscles perpetually tense. He saw potential threats in every shifting shadow and heard intruders in every rustle of dry leaves. To protect his pack meant to remain sharp, a jagged truth that turned his life into a constant vigil against the unknown. Walter felt the burden of his crown in the pulse of the earth. His mind was a map of interconnected lives, the beetle, the fawn, and the deep roots of the oak. He spent his days mending the fraying edges of his realm with a gentle touch. Yet he worried that his harmony was a fragile veil that could be easily pierced by the harsh winds blowing from the north. The two kings met at the Whispering Ridge, where the pines of the north met the oaks of the south. It was a meeting of fire and water, of tooth and antler. Willie spoke of walls, strength, and the necessity of the hunt. Walter spoke of bridges, mercy, and the song of the land. They stood as opposites, yet the ridge held them both. Nature eventually tested their resolve when a great storm tore through the canopy.